which again, I did not hear anybody talking about, but organizing across state lines to stop a pipeline. And again, we cover pipelines and we cover a lot of environmental stuff. So this is our update in the environment this week. This is from
Yes Magazine.
Well, NationOfChange, which picked up from Yes Magazine, correct. Lvey Uyeda, whatever. I don't know. Everybody's killing me on the pronunciations this week.
Mm-hmm.
So again, plans for the Mountain Valley Pipeline were first announced in April 2018. It would transport frack gas 300 miles from West Virginia to compressor site Southern Virginia, then 70 miles into northern North Carolina. Last section is called the Mountain Valley Southgate Extension. Goes through the state to allow a major stakeholder that already services 30% of counties to expand its market in the section of the pipeline that would decimate the Haw River. Let me see if I can blow that up a little bit more.
Yep.
Oh, that's much better, I'll bet, for everybody.
Yep.
So, the pipeline was supposed to be completed in less than a year and cost financial partners $3.5 billion, but 4 years of coordinated cross-state grassroots resistance to the pipeline's construction has thus far prevented the Mountain Valley Pipeline Corporation from laying even an inch of pipeline in North Carolina soil. New county, city, state laws have a far reach in preventing pipelines that are slated to start in one state and end in another, as seen with Virginia state law that impacts the North Carolina section of the pipeline. Again, I'm sure they're going to probably make mention of the Colonial Pipeline, which are, again, our good friend Robbie Yeager, friend of the show, Robledo Fire, Politify News, Yeager.substack.com. By all means, give him a follow. We support independent writers here. But with the project over budget, lacking necessary permits, one financial backer of the Pipeline Corporation says it's reconsidering its 31% investment in the now $6.2 billion pipeline. And they're facing an $800 million impairment charge, which is a financial term to describe when the value has dropped below the cost to produce it. So they're going to take a write-down impairment charge. So,
right.
Because they spent so much money over the years, continued legal and regulatory challenges resulted in low probability that it's ever going to happen. Okay? So, but this cross-state collaboration is only one of many where people power is waging a concerted and increasingly successful campaign against fossil fuel corporations and the harmful extraction they promise. Again, we saw what happened with DAPL and with Keystone XL, and now Keystone XL is not going to move forward. All right, organizers in Tennessee, North Carolina, Nebraska are proving that building collective community power can successfully counter big oil's moneyed interests. Yeah. Also, again, Line 3, Line 5 up in Minnesota. We don't want to see any of these things move forward. And you see the governor of California still authorizing new drilling permits, and the president still authorizing new drilling permits, and it's And federal officials continue to subsidize fossil fuels despite scientific warnings to stop their sale and combustion. And we see a lot of car companies moving toward electric from internal combustion engines. And eventually, when we can get hydroelectric and wind power to our power plants, it will mean for cleaner power. Then it's gonna mean, millions of jobs and reforming the grid, which we're gonna absolutely have to do, and shore up our infrastructure to do so. Critical to do that. Again, when a pipeline is proposed, those impacted either don't know about it until it's too late, or they don't have the access to the information or time to dedicate to showing up to all these meetings and giving comments. But when it came to laying pipeline threatening the Haw River, though, that wasn't the case. We really gave the power to the people who are impacted. So they give goals, they give some tips on how to stop a pipeline. There's a blueprint of what to do. The first step is educate neighbors and those who care about the land. Second is to make the building process as legally untenable as possible by advocating for the passage of new city and county laws and permits, demonstrating a pipeline's fallibility to state environmental agencies, looking at the amount of leaks and doing studies about similar type of pipeline leaks in other areas. Okay, it's hard to fight against major corporations when you don't have money, of course. Okay, the organizers and impacted residents are made to feel if they don't have money, they don't have power. However, Cavalieri's work is to disprove that hypothesis, which, bless him. Again, this is again pretty long article fighting for all the people in the river. Please go to Nation of Change. Again, I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now, but I'm going to put all these links in the Substack and in the descriptions all over after the stream is over. But we want to keep you guys here and hanging out, and but there's a link so you can scroll back up afterwards and go there. You can bookmark it. Okay, go there, but come right back.
Do it!
See? Thank you.
Do it!
Yeah.
Right? You got to stand
Do
up.
it.
You got to say no. You got to start telling these people how you feel. And by these people, she means city and county officials, representatives from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and state agencies and boards tasked with evaluating permits filed by the construction company. You know, construction company, they want to build a pipeline. They want to serve the industry. And the state officials are supposed to listen to local businesses, but to the local residents. But what they're doing is listening to local businesses because they're getting drowned out. They're drowning out the local residents.
Yeah.
So, again, super long article. Look at how much it goes. Stories about, fighting Keystone XL for nearly a decade by building relationships between groups who on the surface, again, in Nebraska, and I believe in Montana. Only thing that stops these pipelines is if you lock up the land. Okay? The organization built out of the fight against Keystone XL, Bold Alliance, mobilizes communities to fight pipelines in multiple ways, creating easement action teams. Groups of landowners are represented by Bold Alliance's lawyers, and they ensure the pipeline companies won't approach or speak to the landowners without legal representation. They can't get bullied. They can't get strong-armed. They can't be lied to and fear-mongered about what happens if they don't play ball. Because that's what's happening. It's the same thing as union busting in a lot of ways. All right, not every pipeline battle leads to a win. Again, Line 3, like we talked about in northern Minnesota. And there's also Line 5 that's still in the process of being built. All right, even when we lose, there's something that's happened in our awareness and our attention and our intention and our ability to still fight on. It won't start the same. It'll be a little further. The people who are fighting that fight will be a little more ready for the next one. Well, yeah, experience does that. Shout out and bless these activists. I mean, they're doing the work of champions to help stop pipelines and protect communities and protect environment and protect streams and rivers and the air for our kids to breathe. And this was on March 26th. This was, again, about a week old, but I thought it was really important. And I didn't see anybody really talking and giving credence to this story. And we talk a lot about Duber stuff, but what can happen to stop pipeline and what happens when people come together? Kumbaya, here we go. But it actually does work sometimes. So, thank you, Nation of Change. Thank you to Yes Magazine and Ray for that.